Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got a video for modern dating here. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. See that? Ciao. It's chow time. Ladies, if your man starts sounding like this, it's time to leave.
All I do is care for our fucking family, bust my ass off every day, but I don't get a thank you or nothing. All the cleaning, all the extra work that I do.
This is team. It gets worse from there. I start recording our conversations because I was questioning what was wrong with me. Yeah, post it and everybody will tell you what's wrong with you. You don't appreciate your husband.
Nothing. And I am fucking fed up and done.
A stay-at-home wife regrets not appreciating everything her husband does for their family, as he decided that he is done.
All the cleaning, all the extra work that I do, nothing. And I am fed up and done.
I don't know. It sounds like he deserved better.
He
does. Literally said he works full-time, comes home, he still does chores, but it sounds like you don't like the way he's helping you with the chores. But let's talk about what he...
Because she doesn't like him. She truly doesn't like the man. So everything that he does annoys her. She's already done with the relationship. This is the problem that women, ruin families.
He's saying. It sounds like he's fed up and he feels underappreciated. As well as, when he does attempt to, do the chores and stuff, he doesn't do it right because it's not your way. Speaking strictly on just what he is saying, but if it's true and you don't appreciate him and every time he do something, you basically say he does it wrong, he deserves somebody better.
I also agree with his message. If he created an environment to make her a stay-at-home wife, and on top of that, he also helped with chores when he got home from work.
That's the thing, right? You're a stay-at-home wife, so you might have some kids. How are the chores not done already? That you were home for 8 hours the whole time while the man wasn't home doing his thing. At least with my girl, I don't really do too much chores in my house because she handles most of it because it's easy. And she didn't even live in my house. How hard is it to be in your own house for 8 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours a day and still have chores left over for your man to come do after he did a hard days of work?
That's a lot in my opinion, and it should be appreciated.
It should.
If she can't recognize the type of man he is, other women will. And to pick your phone up to record the conversation. My husband works hard at a job he hates so I can stay at home with our kids and go to school.
Exactly.
I don't ask him to do a thing, and when he offers to help, I thank him and don't micromanage. If your man is mad that you never show him appreciation, it's time to leave him. That is years of frustration built up. But she really thought she did something, though.
Yes, she did.
My husband works long hours. He comes home and he's always a great dad ready to play, helps with bedtime or homework. I never ask that man to do a chore. She still...
This is... my dad didn't really do that many chores. Even Andrew Wilson, that we always see on whatever podcast, he actually doesn't do many chores. Why? Because my mom, his wife, even my girlfriend handle all of the house chores. There's not much. There really isn't. Once the house is kind of clean, it's just easy to maintain.
Didn't understand that he was not asking for a lot. He just wanted some appreciation for the things he does for the family. This is all he needed.
Just needed a thank you.
If she was able to understand that a little recognition would make a big difference, things would be a lot better for the overall family. And she eventually would have a happier husband who would be ready to do a lot more. Most of us are willing to go above and beyond to give our family the best life possible. But if we notice that our effort is not being appreciated, we are more likely to have a similar reaction. That was just a sign of frustration for doing his best for years, only to be told that it wasn't good enough. This was the sad part of it.
All I do is care for our family.
To go above and beyond, come home, do all the chores, and then get bitched at for doing the chores wrong or doing the chores not the way she likes it. Yeah, that would be frustrating because I put in so much extra work right now and you don't appreciate it and you're going to redo it anyways. Why didn't you just have the chores done?
Family, bust my ass off every day, but I don't get a thank you or nothing. I don't get anything. All these dishes, all the cleaning, all the extra work that I do, nothing. Because it's not your way. You control every situation in our lives. And I am fed up and done.
I'm having our fourth and I'm sick the entire 9 months. Even if my husband does something not to my liking, I still just say thank you and fix it while he's at work. He does his best, and that's all he can.
Hey, some
The
men
man
were
is just asking
trying.
for a thank you. Appreciation is all he's asking for, and he's the bad guy because of his tone. That's frustration.
Yep. It's literally because of the tone. Yes, it's tone policing. Because he's frustrated, because he's upset and raising his voice and cussing, he's the bad guy.
Bro, I was married to this for years. Worked 12-hour nights. Took them to school in the morning. 90% of the cleaning, and I still wasn't doing enough. Left her and haven't been happier in years. Felt this because I lived this. Literally was working 40 hours a week. Tired after work. Helped out at home. Wasn't right. Tried to communicate, but not much would change. I saw the ring and instantly knew. Anytime a guy feels the need to express himself to this extent, it means that it was built up over the years.
Yep.
He had things to say for a long time, but now he got to his limit.
Well, he thought he could fix it, or he thought it would like keel over later, but it just got worse and worse.
And usually when things get to this level, one of his feet is already on the door. He couldn't keep it anymore, so he had to let it out. This is why those who pay attention to their partner are in a better place, as they will be able to prevent this type of situation. He is doing his part by working hard to provide for his family, but instead of being appreciated for his effort, she constantly looks for small gaps to complain about the help he also gives at home. Some people don't know what they have, and usually they are the first to complain when they lose it. Somehow she still found it interesting to the point of starting recording it. Maybe she believes that he is just overreacting, but that is not the case. He is just tired of doing things only to be told that it wasn't done correctly or wasn't enough.
When my marriage was falling apart with my ex-wife, I was required by her to go to a therapist. This was
Required by her? Just let her go, bro.
non-negotiable. If I did not go to a therapist, she was going to file for divorce immediately. So I found a therapist local in my area. I made an appointment. He took my insurance and I went. At my first session, I sat down, I met the guy. He looked like the dad from Family Ties, just like exactly like him. And we talk about my marriage, my relationship with my son, who was 2 at the time, her son, my stepkid, that was 8 or 9, her parents, her friends, and it was an hour and it was fine. My ex-wife was impressed. I actually went. She didn't think I was going to do it. So the second week was more of the same.
Bro. Second wife now?
Not much different, but at the end of the second session, the therapist was like, next week I would like to see your wife and you together, see if you can make that happen. So I go home and I tell her, and she's like, absolutely, I can't wait, I will absolutely come with you.
Yeah, because she thinks the therapist is going to confirm everything about her.
So I'm like, okay, great. She's got
Or confirm everything that she has in her mind.
a lot to get off her chest, right? So the third session starts, the two of us are on the couch, and the therapist is asking her questions. He's not asking me anything. He's like, well, why do you think your husband has a problem with your friends? She goes, well, you know, I work with these people, and then you know, once we're off the clock, we go out on a Saturday night or a Friday night, and when I call him and tell him I'm not going to be home to 2:30, he gets upset and tells me I'm not his, you know, he's not my babysitter, because he's not just watching our kid, but he's watching my kid, and I don't appreciate that. And he's like, well,
That seems quite fair. Sounds like you're using him as a babysitter of every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. You're going out till 2:30.
you can kind of see his point. You are a married woman. And I'm like, oh. And you can see
The therapist is on your side, bro, but she ain't gonna have it.
steam coming out of her ears. And every other thing that he was talking to her about or bringing up, he was basically taking my side in. And I'm like shaking my head. I'm like, you gotta stop. Like, stop this. Even
this man knows you're ruining my marriage, bro.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Based on those statements alone, it became clear the type of relationship they had, which is why it didn't work. Now we know that she was in charge in that relationship.
Yep.
And he willingly gave her that position. And
Man, we knew she was in charge when she said, you better go to therapy or it's over, and he went to therapy.
this is where they ended up. Why was he afraid of what the therapist was saying? Why would he think that somehow he would get in trouble at home for it?
Because
They
he
didn't
will.
have the best dynamic in their relationship, and it could be the reason she lost interest.
So the session ends. We're walking out in the parking lot. She goes, I don't know where you found him, but he's a quack. I'm not coming back here again. Matter of fact, you probably know this guy somehow, some way. And this was a setup.
Yep.
The
This is
marriage
exactly
was
what
officially
all women
over
seem to
5
think.
weeks later.
The minute she said she's staying out till 2:30 in the morning with work friends, your marriage was done.
Yeah.
Her requiring you to go to therapy and she not going herself was the first red flag.
I was also confused by that, why he was the only one that was going to therapy at first. I thought it would be therapy for couples.
Sounds like marriage therapy worked. Stay strong.
It did, huh?
Same. 4 different therapists said. Do you see where he might be right? Immediately fired. The moment any therapist suggested that my ex needed to make the slightest change, she dropped the therapist.
Yep.
She knew
This is why therapy doesn't work. Because the people that go there, mostly women, don't do the work to fix themselves, nor do they even want to listen to therapists' truth.
before she went. Best therapist opening question I've ever heard. Are you here to work on your marriage or get out of it? Her answer, I'm basically done. Okay, we're done here.
Nice.
She wanted a therapist who would support her on those adventures, so since it didn't happen, she didn't want anything to do with him.
Yep.
At this point, I think a bit of accountability would have helped a lot in this case, because she didn't think their issues had anything to do with her but him. And this is why they couldn't make things work. But to be honest, I think that no amount of therapist appointment would make any difference in that marriage, because from the moment she suggested that he shouldn't,
I mean, they throw the word narcissist around a lot. That is pretty much narcissism right there. When people are telling you you're doing something wrong and you ignore it, and then you say that they are quacks and wrong.
mind if she was out till 2:30, it showed where she was mentally. She was no longer engaged in their marriage, and he knew it. Also, I don't know why he accepted therapy when he was
agree.
aware of where the changes should come from. I was even surprised that she only went when she was asked to do so. It was a clear indication she convinced him that he needed it, not her. But she forgot that therapy will only be effective when both parties are willing to work together and make the necessary changes.
Self-improvement time.
Welcome to our self-development section. Today we will talk about the importance of self-reflection. Many aren't living their dream life because they didn't take the time to check within.
Sit on your bed one day and ask yourself, what remarkably stupid things am I doing on a regular basis to absolutely screw up my life? And if you actually ask that question, you'll figure that's out so fast it'll make your hair curl. What?
I'm sure a lot of it is, weed for you guys, alcohol, women. Those are huge vices that really take away from your purpose.
What happened if you consulted yourself about the best possible outcome for you? You might get an answer.
We have the power to direct
I
our
like it.
lives, so it's up to us to understand this fact and use it for our advantage. All of us are writing our story daily, but most aren't doing a good job at this. They are writing the wrong story for themselves and later complain about it. So, if you are not happy with your current situation, all you have to do is be honest with yourself about the poor choices you have made. And if you want to see changes, you will have to make different choices. This is all for today's video.
That self-reflection factor is huge. If you don't actually self-reflect and see the great things you've done and the horrible things you've done and the shitty patterns that you're still continuing, it isn't going to change much, brothers. That's why you need to step back, maybe 10 steps, look at your own life, look at everything. What can you improve? What are the things that you're doing that isn't improving you? Figure it out. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And see you next time. Bye.